Alright, it's Eric Allman, and this is my special guest, Kendall Howard. We're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution. Let's go!
He didn't say it.
To introduce the Industrial Revolution, it began around the 1750s. Revolution means change. In order for it to happen, three mini revolutions must happen. The agricultural revolution, the energy revolution, the transportation revolution, and this increases the population. The population in Britain increased during the 1700s and 1800s. It went from 5 million to 9 million. This is because infant mortality, the number of infants died in the first year. It went down because the food was growing faster, giving the babies its necessary nutrients.
Before the Industrial Revolution, there was before factories, there was putting out systems. The putting out system is a system of multiple people making textiles in their homes. There's 5 steps that go into a textile being made. In the first steps, the shears, aka sheep wools, are made into a ball or a bale, which holds the sheep wool. In the second step, it uses a spinning wheel to spin the wool into yarn. In the third step, the yarn is weaved into cloth using the loom, and at the end it becomes a ball. It becomes a bolt of cloth, aka a bunch of yarn on wood. On the fourth step, the bolts of cloths are dyed into different colors. Native Americans crushed berries and squeezed them to dye the cloth, because there wasn't no little color things that we use today. And finally, the fifth step, the cloth is then brought into the store where it is sold. This is all made by locals in the same village. Most people are buying clothing which they took part into making. Each person who helps makes it gets paid due to their importance to the project.
Kill.
Next is the energy transportation revolution. There are 4 parts to the revolution: the turnpike, the railroad, steamship, and the canal. The turnpike is a private road that is paid for. It takes people a shorter distance to their destination. If there is a lot of stops on the way to their destination, this will slow people down. People who make stuff and are rich take this. Also, merchants who had to get their goods quickly. The railroad, or the steam engine, is powered by coal and steam. It uses a cylinder attached to couplings, a piston, and a wheel. The coal is burned, creates steam, and then the steam injects into a cylinder, pushing the piston up. Gravity pushes it down, the couplings rise, making the wheels move. This is how the steam engine works. It was made by James Watt and perfected by Robert Newcomb. More cylinders equals more power. Most trains are hooked or linked to port cities. Also, there's a steam freighter or a ship. Freight is cargo. It runs smoother than the steam engine train. It has the same setup as the steam engine. It is transported on the canal. The Erie Canal allows Midwest cities to move goods on ships to Europe. A canal is a man-made river that is a passway to rivers. It's more efficient than wagon pulling and a good way of pulling big cargo.
Go.
This is how the steam engine works. The coal is then put into the steam. The coal still is put into the thing that makes steam, and the steam rises, thus moving into the couplings and the cylinder, thus making the put. It goes to the couplings, moving the pistons that are connected to the wheels. This is the agricultural revolution. Over the years, soil was being destroyed because the farmers pulling out nutrients. The farmers then start to use the reasoning, because it's during the age of the Enlightenment era, and start using science to build and make more crops. These crops usually include corn, potato, wheat, and barley. And they'll use different fields to grow these type of crops, and this went into the crop rotation. Crop rotation was like the crops will rotate every year. For example, you'll have potato in one crop, and you'll have a dry fields. It will gain its nutrients due to the sun and rain over the years, and it regenerates the soil. And then you put cow fertilizer in that one that is fallow, and then you just use other nutrients for it in other fields. Then you have the turnip king. Turnips equals fertilizer, and when they break down, they enrich the soil. So this is what they use to put into the fallow fields to regain its nutrients, and they use cow/turnip fertilizer.